Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, हरिनाम संकीर्तन महायज्ञ की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की, श्रील गुरुदेव की, निताय गौर सीतनाथ प्रेमानंदे.
Thank you for wonderful kirtans. Hare Krishna. And today is which day? Day 4. Thank you. That's right in between. And so today we have the 4th day of the Srimad Bhagavatam part and Katha. Very wonderfully being conducted by His Grace Gauranga Darshan Prabhu. His Gauranga Darshan Prabhu ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Taking us through the beautiful aspects from the Bhishma Stuti in Srimad Bhagavatam. So today I want every one of you to just chant one shloka. Mahesh was afraid some time ago. He thought it's going to rain today. So there was a worry. So we thought we were all going to chant one shloka. Are we ready? Om Namo Govardhanodharanaya Govindaya Gopalaya Gopalapataye Gopi Jana Bhartre Karunanidaye Jagadvidaye Jaganmangalaya Jaganmohanaya Koti Manmata Manmathaya Shri Vrishabhanusutavaraya Shri Nandaraja Kulapradipaya Shri Krishnaya Paripurnatamaya Te Asankhya Brahmanda Pataye Goloka Dhama Dishinadipataye Swayam Bhagavate Sabalaya Namaste Namaste. So I think today was predicted to be a little colder, and I don't know how it's going to be in the next few days, so it'll be better if you're well attired for the cold. And thank you very, very much again to all of you to be here. Today is Ekadasi. How many of you are following Ekadasi? Very nice. Thank you. So wonderful to see a congregation with so many devotees who follow Ekadasi, isn't it? Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. His Grace Gauranga Darshan Prabhu ki jai, Bhishma Pitamaha ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Dai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bo.
Hare Krishna. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavalla Bhagiri Varadhari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavalla Bhagiri Varadhari जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरवनचारी यमुना तीरवनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे। जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे। जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की। नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की। ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की। पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की। गंगामय की यमुनामय की भक्ति देवी की तुलसी देवी की। कलियुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की। हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की। All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanathmirandhasya Gnananjanashalakaya चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च। श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. My humble obeisances to all the devotees who have assembled for this fourth day of our 7-day series of our discussions on Bhishmadeva's glories, Bhishmadeva's teachings and Bhishma's prayers. In the last 3 days, we discussed the background of this glorious meeting between the Pandavas and Bhishma, and we also discussed how Bhishmadev welcomed all these wonderful guests who came to see him just before the time of his departure, and we also saw how Bhishma consoled the Pandavas. अहो कष्टम अहो अन्यायम यद्यूयम धर्मनंदन जीवितम नार्हत क्लिष्टम विप्र धर्माच्युताश्रयः. Bhishmadev very beautifully established that all the experiences, unpleasant experiences that Pandavas faced in their lives were not because of their karma, were not also because of Kala, but they were because of the Lord's arrangement. Tasmadidam daivatantram. First he said, Aho kashtam aho anyayam. You went through so many difficulties and injustices. Generally people undergo difficulties and injustices because of their karma, prarabdha karma. But in the case of Pandavas, there is no prarabdha karma. In the case of practicing devotees, there are some difficulties because of their mistakes, their offenses, and some aparadhs and anarthas they still have in their hearts. But Pandavas were not practicing devotees. They were not inattentive sadhakas who commit some mistakes sometimes. Pandavas were pure devotees and the companions of Krishna. How can prarabdha karma even affect them? Then the second possibility is Sarvam kalakritam manye bhavatam cha yadapriyam sapalo yadvashe loko vayo riva ghanavalihi. Sarvam kalakritam manye. Everything happens by the influence of time. And even the great rulers of all planets and the residents of planets, all of them are under the control of time. Just like the clouds cannot stay at one place, they have to move from one place to another place because of the movement of winds. Similarly, we cannot choose certain experiences in our lives in one sense. We have to undergo certain experiences by the passage of time. Therefore, Kala is the cause. However, how can time influence devotees? Kala is just a representative of Krishna. Kal or time factor does not completely represent Krishna's Swarupa. Krishna, in his original Swarupa as a cowherd boy in Vrindavan, has unlimited powers, but time cannot have as many powers as Krishna's Swarupa has. Right? Time is just a small partial representative of Krishna, and it has certain functioning. Especially in this material world, time functions in such a way that it deteriorates everything. Kalosmi lokakshayat krit pravruddho. But Krishna is complete, absolute truth. Kala is a small representative of that Krishna, a small partial aspect of Krishna. Similarly, Super Soul is a small replica of Krishna. Krishna is complete. So what Kal can do, Krishna can effortlessly do. What Krishna can do, Kal cannot do. Right? So how can Kala influence the devotees? So all the unpleasant circumstances happening in the lives of devotees are not because of karma, not because of Kala, not because of grahas, graha doshas, planetary movements, and not because of their own svabhava. It's because of Krishna. It's because of Daiva. Krishna personally orchestrates all the incidents in the lives of devotees. Even in their sadhaka stage, what to speak of pure devotees. So, why Krishna arranges difficulties in the lives of devotees, we have seen. Last 2 days we have been discussing it. But who can become a devotee? Anybody can become a devotee. Yesterday we discussed Samoham sarva bhuteshu nabe dveshyosti na priyaha ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya maite teshu chapyaham. Krishna is equal to everybody. But if someone specifically worships Krishna, loves Krishna, Krishna gives special attention to such devotees. Krishna is specially inclined to those devotees. Right? Oh, Krishna is partial towards devotees and Krishna is quote unquote neutral or indifferent towards those who are not devotees. Is that the message? In one sense, yes. But in one sense, no also. Because although Krishna is in one sense partial to devotees, he doesn't stop anyone to become a devotee. Krishna says, I am equal to all, but I am specially inclined to my devotees. But if you want my special inclination towards you, you can also become devotee. I am welcoming you to become a devotee. Manmana bhavamad bhakta madhyaji mam namaskuru. So these are not teachings that Krishna is giving only to Arjuna. These are teachings that Krishna gives to everybody. Anybody can become devotee. So the conclusion is, Krishna is impartially partial to everybody because he gives entrance into his arena of partiality without any reservations. You want Krishna to be partial towards you? Yes, Krishna can be partial towards you if you become his devotee. What qualification do I need to become devotee? No qualification. Whatever may be your background, you become a devotee. I'll become partial to you. Akamaha sarva kamo va moksha kama udaradhihi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. Akama. You have no desires? Welcome. Bhakti yoga is for you. Sarva kama va. You have all kinds of desires? No problem. You can enter bhakti. Moksha kama. Are you specifically desiring for liberation? Still, you can perform bhakti. So, no one is stopped from entering the process of bhakti. Anybody can perform bhakti. Even children can perform bhakti. Men, women, children, from any background they can perform bhakti. Bhakti doesn't expect any prerequisites. Prahalad Maharaj says, Manye dhana bhijana rupa tapashrito jahate jaha prabhava bala paurusha buddhi yoga naradhanaya hi bhavanti parasya pumso bhaktya tutosha bhagavan gajayutha paya. Prahalad Maharaj says, Manye dhana means wealth, abhijana, followers, rupa, beautiful form, tapa, austerity, shruta, education, so many things. Prahalad Maharaj enumerates 12 qualifications. Dhana, abhijana, rupa, tapa, shruta, oja, teja, prabhava, bala, paurusha, buddhi, yoga. 12 qualifications he enumerates. All these are neither qualifications nor disqualifications to become an object of Krishna's grace. So you can become dear to Krishna. Although you come from any unconventional background. Vyadhasya charanam dhruvasya chavayo vidya gajendrasya ka kubjaya kimu nama rupamadhikam kim tat sudam no dhanam vamshah ko vidurasya yadavapater ugrasya kim paurusham bhaktya tushyati kevalam na chagunaihi bhakti priyo madhava. Vyadhasya acharanam. There is a hunter named Vyadha. What acharan does he know? What etiquette does he know? Krishna is kind towards him. Dhruvasya chavayo. What is the age of Dhruva? Is age a qualification to attain Krishna's grace? No. Dhruva is a 5-year-old kid. But still, the Lord gave him darshan. So, your background, your etiquette, or your understanding of culture, good culture, your civilized background is not a qualification to attain Krishna's grace. Your age is not a qualification. Your education is a qualification? No. Vidya Gajendrasya ka. Vidya. Is Gajendra a Pandit? He is an elephant. Generally, elephant has a huge body, but some people say that elephants are dull-headed, although they have a huge body. Vidya Gajendrasya ka. Gajendra is not a Pandit, so Vidya is not a qualification to attain Krishna's grace. Kubjaya kimu nama rupa madhikam. Is physical beauty a qualification to attain Krishna's grace? Somebody who has a very beautiful body, they're handsome or beautiful or they're fair complexion, etc., etc., can they become objects of Krishna's grace? Not necessary. Right? So, Kubja is a hunchback woman. But by offering sandalwood pulp to Krishna with sincere love and devotion, she got the grace of Krishna. Kubjaya kimu nama rupa madhikam kim tat sudam no dhanam. Is money a qualification to attain Krishna's grace? You want money? Krishna wants money? No, he's Lakshmipati. He doesn't need your money. Even poverty-stricken Sudama also can become an object of Krishna's grace, although he has nothing to offer him. It's popularly known that Sudama offered some 4 handfuls of flat rice to Krishna. But actually, Sudama did not have that also. Sudama's wife went to some neighboring houses and begged this poha and gave it to Sudama in a torn cloth, and Sudama offered that to Krishna. The flat rice that Sudama offered is also not his flat rice. Still, Krishna is so pleased. Krishna was so pleased with Sudama, he was thinking that Sudama offered me something beyond his capacity. So, to properly reciprocate with Sudama, I need to offer something to him beyond my capacity. Is there anything beyond Krishna's capacity? It was not beyond Krishna's capacity to go beyond his capacity to sufficiently reciprocate with Sudama's offering. Therefore, Krishna felt very ashamed. Oh, Sudama gave me something beyond his capacity, but I am unable to give him anything beyond my capacity, means I am unable to reciprocate sufficiently with him. So he secretly gave him some palace, which Sudama realized after he went home. Krishna did not reveal it, what he was about to offer him. So, the point here is that none of these qualifications can please the Lord. Kim tat sudamno dhanam vamshah ko vidurasya yadavapater ugrasya kim paurusham. Taking birth in a great dynasty, is that a qualification to attain Krishna? No. What is the Vamsha of Vidura? He's a Dasi Putra, he's a son of a maid servant, but still he's a pure devotee of Krishna. Ugrasya kim paurusham, having paurusham, having courage to fight in battles, having great Kshatriya mentality, is that a qualification to attain Krishna's grace? No. Even if you're physically so strong, that doesn't mean you can attain Krishna's grace. Ugrasena Maharaj is not known to fight in so many battles. His own son arrested him. Kamsa arrested him. Of course, Kamsa is not his son exactly, but apparently Kamsa is his son, and Kamsa arrested Ugrasena. Krishna came and released him. But Ugrasena Maharaj is a great devotee. So what pleases the Lord? If money cannot please the Lord, if your education and scholarship cannot please the Lord, if your beauty, physical beauty cannot please the Lord, if your etiquette and civilized life cannot please the Lord, if your high birth and aristocracy cannot please the Lord, what pleases the Lord? Bhaktya tushyati kevalam na chagunaihi bhakti priyo madhava. Only bhakti pleases Krishna. He is bhakti priya. He loves people who have sincere devotion in their hearts. That's all. Bhakti priyo madhava. He doesn't need anything else. So this is how we can become dear to Krishna. And Pandavas are extremely dear to Krishna. So all the sufferings they underwent is not because of their karma. It is not because of kala. It's not because of some graha dosha. It's not because of some other reason. It's completely orchestrated by Krishna to reveal how sincere and how dedicated they are to Krishna despite facing hundreds and thousands of reversals in their lives. Challenges in life will test our faith in Krishna. Calamities will shake our faith in Krishna. Is God there? But for a devotee, calamity is an opportunity to intensify one's remembrance of Krishna, to increase one's dependence on Krishna, to become more prayerful to Krishna. That's what calamity does in a devotee's life. We could see that example in the Pandavas case, and Pandavas are so dear to Krishna. So after explaining all these things to the Pandavas, Bhishma said, this personality standing here, Krishna, is not just your cousin, is not just your friend or advisor or a chariot driver. He is Sakshat Bhagavan. Esha vai Bhagavan Sakshat Adyo Narayana Puman. He is Bhagavan Sakshat, directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Adi Narayana. He is the origin of Narayana also. So like that he glorified the Lord in various ways. Sarvatmanaha samadrsho advayasya anahankrite. We discussed all these shlokas yesterday. So one thing towards the end of this glorification, Bhismadeva said very beautifully. He said, Bhaktya veshya mano yasmin vacha yannama kirtayan tyajan kalevaram yogi muchyate kama karma bhi. Bhaktya veshya mano yasmin, when you are immersed in bhakti, bhakti aveshya mano yasmin vacha yannama kirtayan. If you engage your mind in devotion to Krishna, and if you engage your words in glorifying Krishna, then we will be relieved from kama and karma. And the Pandavas are constantly accustomed to dedicate their minds to Krishna, dedicate their words to glorify Krishna. Yan Nama Kirtan specifically, not a single canto of Srimad Bhagavatam is devoid of the glories of the holy name of Krishna. Name of Krishna is not different from Krishna. Every single canto, all the 12 cantos of Bhagavatam describe the glories of the holy name of Krishna. And in the first canto, here is one instance where Bhishma is glorifying the Nama Kirtan process. Right? Alam alam alameka praninam patakanam nirasana vishayeya Krishna Krishneti vani yadi bhavati mukunde bhaktirananda sandra karatala kalita sa moksha samrajya lakshmi. Alam alam alameka praninam patakanam. These pranis in this world may do so many patakas, so many sinful activities. Nirasana vishayeya Krishna Krishneti vani. But if these sinful people chant the holy names of Krishna, Krishna, Krishna iti vani, if they vibrate this sound, Krishna, 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 then Yadi bhavati mukunde bhaktirananda sandra, just by the utterance of these names Krishna, Krishna, they will be immersed in an ocean of bhakti, ocean of bliss, spiritual bliss, right? Bhaktirananda sandra. Bhakti gives you spiritual bliss, which is like a condensed ocean of bliss. So, and not only that, karatala kalita sa moksha samrajya lakshmi. And the opulence of the kingdom of liberation is there in your hands, like this. Means moksha will just happen so easily. Effortlessly you can attain liberation. And liberation is never the aspiration of a devotee, because they are immersed in ananda, condensed bliss of chanting the names of Krishna, selflessly serving Krishna. Right? So Bhishmadeva glorified Nama Kirtan here. Then Bhishma said, he expressed his gratitude. Tathapi ekanta bhakteshu pasya bhupanukampitam. Oh, Yudhishthira Maharaj, did you see how merciful my Lord Krishna is? Pasya bhupa anukampitam. I am ekanta bhakta, I am one-pointed devotee of the Lord, I am completely dedicated to the Lord. So just to show his anukampa, anugraha, just to show his compassion upon me, Krishna has come at the time of my death. When I am about to leave my body, Krishna has come here personally to give me his darshan. Kam vadayalum sharanam vrajema. Who else can be more merciful than Krishna? So with this, Bhishma speaks the next shloka. Very beautiful shloka. Very important shloka. You can project it somewhere in 24th shloka, I think. First canto, 9th chapter. He says, Sadeva Devo Bhagavan Pratikshatam. Sadeva Devo Bhagavan Pratikshatam. Kalevaram Yavadidam Hinomyaham. Kalevaram Yavadidam Hinomyaham. Prasanna Sarunalochanollasan. Prasanna Sarunalochanollasan. Mukhambujo Dhyanapatah Chaturbhujaham. Mukhambujo Dhyanapatah Chaturbhujaham. See this beautiful, heart-touching shloka. The most important lesson that this shloka is going to give us is that a devotee is completely dedicated to the service of Krishna even till his last breath. Even till the last moment of his life, a devotee is completely dedicated to Krishna's service. You know what Bhishma is saying here? Sadeva Devo Bhagavan Pratikshatam. That Deva, whom I have glorified in the last 6-7 verses, from 18th shloka till 23rd shloka, he has been glorifying Krishna, right? We have been discussing since yesterday. 18th shloka, he began glorifying Krishna, saying, Esha Vai Bhagavan Sakshat Adyo Narayana Puman. Until 23rd shloka, he was glorifying Krishna. Now in the 24th shloka, he says, Sa Deva Devo, that Deva, that God of all gods, Krishna, let him wait. Bhagavan Pratikshatam, oh Bhagavan, wait for me. Why I have to wait for you? You have to wait. Because I waited for you a long time. I waited for you sleeping on this bed of arrows. You have to wait for me now. You may think, why Bhishma is saying like this? Because Bhishma is requesting Krishna to wait so that he does his last service to Krishna. He has been serving Krishna since decades and maybe few centuries in his life. But even in this last moment when he was about to depart from this material world, even then also he wanted to do this last service to Krishna, and he wanted Krishna to wait till he completes that service. Sadeva Devo Bhagavan Pratikshatam Kalevaram Yavadidam Hinomyaham. This Kalevara I am going to leave. This body, with this body I have done so many things in life. I am going to leave this body, my dear Lord. So till the moment I leave this body, can you please wait there? He's begging the Lord. And he says, Prasanna Hasa Runalochanollasan. Prasanna Hasa. Prasanna means very pleasant. Hasa means his smile. Krishna's smile is so pleasant. Prasanna Hasa Arunalochana Ullasan. His eyes are so reddish like that rising sun. Very beautiful, very sweet. Let my Lord wait with his pleasant smiles on his face, with his affectionate glances showering upon me. Let him wait. Mukhambujo Dhyanapatah Chaturbhujah. And I have another request. Let him show his Mukhambuja, his beautiful face. Dhyanapatah. I will meditate on him. Chaturbhujaha, let him manifest a four-handed form. Different devotees love different forms of the Lord. Some devotees love the four-handed form of Krishna as Vishnu. Some devotees love the two-handed form of Krishna as Shyam Sundar. Sometimes devotees worship an eight-handed form of Vishnu. Sometimes devotees worship a 10-handed form of Vishnu. Prachetas did that. The Lord manifested in 10 hands in front of Prachetas. The Lord manifested in 8 hands in front of Daksha and many other people. The Lord can appear in Sahasrabahu also, in incarnation also. So, Bhishmadev's favorite form is Narayana form. Therefore, he is requesting Krishna, Krishna, can you please wait for me in your Narayana form? Mukhambujo dhyanapataha chaturbhujaha. Chaturbhuja form. So now, coming back to the beginning of the shloka. Why did he say the first line? Sadeva Devo Bhagavan Pratikshatam. Oh Deva Deva, please do pratiksha for me, wait for me till I complete that service. What is that last service that Krishna expected from Bhishma? Yudhishthira Maharaj is confused, completely confused. That so many thousands of soldiers had to die just to enthrone him as the king of Hastinapur. He was feeling guilty, he was confused. So, Krishna wanted Bhishma to clear those confusions and prepare him and equip him with the necessary readiness to rule the kingdom of Hastinapur. Right? So Bhishmadev dutifully did this service of counseling Yudhishthira Maharaj. Right? It's completed. From the 12th shloka till 17th shloka, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. In half dozen shlokas, Bhishmadev nicely counseled Yudhishthira Maharaj, and Yudhishthira Maharaj is ready. He accepted. It is Lord's arrangement. It's Tasmadidam Daivatantram. The Lord has personally orchestrated this incident for me, so I will rule. He is ready. He agreed. But for him to rule, he needs some knowledge, isn't it? He needs some education. So Krishna expected Bhishma to give that education to our dear Yudhishthira Maharaj. Right? Let Yudhishthira Maharaj be well equipped with the knowledge of how to administer justice in the kingdom. Let him understand the principles of leadership and administration. Let him understand Rajadharma. Rajadharma means the duty of a king. Let him understand Stri Dharma, the duties of women. Let him understand Varana Dharma, the duties of different Varanas like Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras. Let Bhishma enlighten Yudhishthira Maharaj about Ashrama Dharma, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasis. What are they supposed to do? How should our Yudhishthira Maharaj administer this Varnashrama Dharma in his kingdom? Let Bhishma give some inputs to him. Let Bhishma also educate Yudhishthira Maharaj in Bhagavata Dharma, the process of bhakti. Dana Dharma, the way, the right principles of giving charity to people. Right? So Dana Dharma, Raja Dharma, Stri Dharma, Varna Dharma, Ashrama Dharma, ultimately Bhagavata Dharma. So Bhishma had to give a seminar on all these topics while lying on the bed of arrows without a sound system. Right? So Bhishma had to do that. Krishna, you only engaged me in this service. Let me complete this service. Sometimes the Lord may give us some service and he will disappear from the scene. Don't be like that. You gave me service. I want to do this service. Please be here while I am doing this service. After completing this service of educating Yudhishthira Maharaj in different principles of leadership and rulership, I want to offer some heartfelt prayers to you. You please wait till that moment. He is requesting the Lord. Till the last breath, this devotee wants to serve the Lord. And Krishna wanted to show this example of dedicated, selfless, unflinching service. He wanted to show this example to the whole world through Bhishmadev. Many people misunderstood Bhishma. Why did Bhishma fight on the side of Duryodhan? Why did Bhishma did not take any action when Draupadi was being disrobed? Why did Bhishma serve the throne of Hastinapur like a slave while he himself is such a powerful warrior? Why he had to stick to that vow that he has taken several generations before? When this generation is changing, and then according to the changing times, he has to adapt to the circumstances, deshakala vibhagavit, and do the needful to protect dharma. Why did he witness so many things that are happening right in front of his eyes when he has the ability to rectify them? So many people have so many questions. They misunderstand Krishna, misunderstand Bhishma till this moment. Those people who want to misunderstand, they will misunderstand Krishna also. They will misunderstand Ram also. They will misunderstand Bhishma also. What to do? That's what Kali Yuga people are, many times. But even though the entire cosmic manifestation misunderstands us, Krishna will never misunderstand us. That's our hope. Whole world can misunderstand you. They may blame you, they may criticize you, they may demean you, they may discourage you, they may disappoint you, they may disrespect you, they may banish you, they may boycott you. But Krishna will never boycott us. Krishna will never misunderstand us. In the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Kamsa, this cruel, tyrannic king Kamsa, sent his minister, loyal minister Akrura, to Vrindavan. For what purpose? For the purpose of bringing Krishna and Balaram out of Vrindavan to Mathura, so that Kamsa can kill him. Kill Krishna, kill Balaram also. Right? So Kamsa had arranged a huge elephant named Kovalayapeda to kill Krishna and Balaram, before even they enter into Kamsa's wrestling arena. And if they miss Kovalayapeda, Kamsa had arranged 5 mountain-like wrestlers, Chanura, Mushtika, Shala, Toshala, Kuta. And Kamsa thought, if all of them miss, I am there to kill Krishna and Balaram. He thought like that. And Akrura had to bring this so-called auspicious news of Dhanuryaga to Krishna and take Krishna out of Vrindavan. On the way to Vrindavan, Akrura was meditating. Oh, how fortunate am I? How fortunate am I to be able to see Krishna and Balaram in Vrindavan Dham today? I am so fortunate. And Krishna gave me this fortune through Kamsa, a cruel king. How? He gives a very beautiful analogy. Sometimes an unfortunate person, an unlucky person may drown in a river. The waves of the river are tossing him left, right, center. He is unable to protect himself. He is unable to rescue himself. But somehow such an unfortunate person, by his good fortune, may be thrown on the shore by the waves of the river themselves. The waves of the river only will throw him on the shore and he is rescued. Similarly, Kamsa is supposed to trouble Akrura and all the residents of Mathura. That same Kamsa is throwing Akrura to Vrindavan. Go Akrura, go and take darshan of Krishna and Balaram in Vrindavan and bring them here. Such a great fortune. One who is supposed to separate Krishna and his devotees is facilitating for the devotees' union with Krishna. Can you just imagine Akrura's good fortune? So many things. I am not going into details of Akrura's contemplation on the way to Vrindavan, but the main point here is Akrura was thinking, although I am going to Vrindavan as a representative of Kamsa, Krishna will never misunderstand me. Krishna will not misunderstand me. Krishna will not think that I am on the side of Kamsa. Kamsa is the king. I am the minister of Kamsa. I came on his behalf. I came just to represent him and take this Krishna to Vrindavan, and Krishna might think that I am a villain because I am siding villain. No. Even if a devotee happens to take the side of a villain, devotee is not villain. Similarly, even if Bhishma is taking the side of Duryodhan, at heart he is always on the side of Pandavas. At heart he is always on the side of Krishna. And Bhishma is confident about it. Although I am fighting on the side of Duryodhan, Krishna will never misunderstand me. Even if the whole world misunderstands us, Krishna will never misunderstand us. How many times in your life have you faced a situation where you had good intentions, you did good deeds, but people misunderstood you? People blamed you, people criticized you, people misunderstood. Did you ever face that situation in life? People misunderstand you even though you are genuine. Every moment, my God. Okay. Did you ever face a situation where you have done a grave mistake? Nobody came to know about it. They're thinking that you are so great. Prabhu, we are so great. Huh? Now you raise your hand. So the second situation was very comfortable, right? The first situation was very unpleasant, but second situation is very comfortable. Thank God, nobody came to know what nonsense I have done in the background. People are thinking that I'm a great soul. They're saying, Prabhuji, aap ye hai, aap wo hai. Right? They're glorifying me. So, if we are eager to accept glorification, praise, and appreciation, even if we don't deserve, why can't we be eager to accept criticism and misunderstanding, even if we don't deserve? Right? This is karma, that is also karma. Right? So somehow, the conditioned soul is always looking for comfort for one's own false ego. That's the problem with the conditioned soul. So Krishna will not misunderstand us, that will give us hope. Even though our good intentions are not recognized by people in this world, Krishna recognizes our good intentions. That should give us hope. But that should also give us an important caution note. Even though people in this world did not recognize my downside, did not recognize my faults and anarthas and malicious intentions and filthy desires in the heart, Krishna notices them. And he will give the necessary reaction also. So, Krishna, being a super soul in our heart, should give us a sense of hope also, should give us a caution note also. Even though people are not observing me, Krishna is observing me. He's observing my good intentions, he's observing my bad intentions also. But Bhishma never had any bad intentions. Even if he was apparently supporting people who have very malicious intentions, people who are extremely offensive towards pure devotees, still Bhishma is pure at heart. Bhishma is like a lotus. Although the lotus is staying in the dirt, the lotus is never contaminated by the dirt. Bhishma is like lotus leaf. Although lotus leaf stays in the water, lotus leaf is waterproof. Bhishma is like that. To stay in good association and maintain one's sanity and purity in one's intentions is easy, generally speaking. And even that is difficult many times. But it's relatively easier. But to stay amidst demoniac people, materialistic people who are engaging you in demoniac activities, to stay in such association and still maintain one's purity and integrity requires great strength at heart. And Bhishma had that. Bhishma is constantly acting as an instrument in the will of spiritually Krishna, but acting as an instrument in the will of Duryodhana, Dhritarashtra. Still, while acting as an instrument in the will of Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra, Bhishma is ultimately acting as an instrument in the will of Krishna. Right? Please understand this glory, this aspect of Bhishma's glory. In the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna told Arjuna, he said, Tasmatva muttishta yashola bhasva jitva shatrun bhungshva rajyam samruddham mayai vaite nihataha purvameva nimitta matram bhavasavya sachin. You know this shloka? Please recite. Tasmatva muttishta yashola bhasva Tasmatva muttishta yashola bhasva jitva shatrun bhungshva rajyam samruddham mayaivaite nihataha purvameva nimitta matram bhavasavya sachin. Recite once again. My water break is your shloka recitation time. He says, Tasmat, therefore, Tvam uttishta, get up, Arjuna. Yasholabhasva. Yasholabhasva means gain, victory, fame. Yasha means fame, reputation. Labhasva means gain. Gain fame, gain reputation. It's exciting, right? Oh, I have to get up and just gain fame, gain reputation, become very popular. Fine, exciting. Tasmatvam uttishta yasholabhasva. Jitva shatrun, conquer your enemies. Wow, that's also nice. Bhungshvarajyam samruddham, enjoy a prosperous kingdom of Hastinapur. That's also exciting. 3 exciting things. Yasholabhasva, Jitva Shatrun, Bhungshvarajyam samruddham. All 3 are exciting, right? 4th thing is even more exciting. You know what is that? Mayai vaite nihataha purvameva. In the first 3 things that Krishna said, Jitva Shatrun seems little difficult. Oh, for me to gain reputation and enjoy prosperous kingdom, first I have to conquer my enemies, right? Oh, it's little tricky, Krishna. Can you do something about it? I have already done it. Mayai vaite nihataha purvameva. Pehle se hi. Purvameva. Earlier only, I have already killed all these people. Mayaiva aite nihataha purvameva. All these soldiers that you are supposed to kill have already been killed by me, my dear Arjuna. Oh, you have killed all of them? Then what am I supposed to do? Nimitta matram bhavasavya sachin. You just be an instrument in my hands. Nimitta matra. Just be a nimitta matra in my hands. Nimitta matra is just an instrument, a tool in my hands. Right? Bhava savya sachin. You are a savyasachi. Savyasachi means one who can release arrows from both the hands. How does he do it? I don't know. Don't ask me. I never released an arrow even with one hand also. Right? So he can release arrows from both hands, but still he is an instrument in Krishna's hand. Even if you are so expert to release arrows from both hands, you are still an instrument in Krishna's hand only. Jitva shatrun bhukshmarajvam samuddham mayaivaite nihataha purvameva nimitta matram bhavasavya sachin. Why did he say this shloka? Important point. After reading this beautiful shloka, or after hearing this beautiful shloka, Arjuna's position is very comfortable. Oh, Krishna has already killed. My victory is guaranteed. I will get my kingdom, I will get my reputation, I will get my enjoyment. I can happily act as instrument in Krishna's will. Right? I'm just an instrument in Krishna's will. While by acting as an instrument in Krishna's will, what do you get? You will get victory. Right? When you know that, you will get enjoyment and victory and reputation. Acting as an instrument in Krishna's will is easy. But if you know that you will be defeated, you will be defamed, you will be misunderstood for the rest of eternity, probably, then also will you be able to act as instrument in Krishna's will? Please tell me. Is it easy to act as an instrument in Krishna's will, knowing that you will fail? Knowing that you will be misunderstood by people for all time to come? Knowing that you will be defeated by a younger warrior, by your grandson? Knowing that you will be lying on this bed of arrows like this? Bhishma acted as an instrument in Krishna's will. Bhishma is also nimitta matram. He is better than Savyasachi, Arjuna. He acted as nimitta matram, but Bhishma's acting as a nimitta matram in Krishna's hands is much, much superior to Arjuna's acting as a nimitta matram in Krishna's hands. That is Bhishma's glory. Now, Krishna also, because to act as an instrument in Krishna's will, knowing that you will fail, knowing that you will be defeated, knowing that you will be defamed is much difficult compared to a situation where we act as an instrument in Krishna's will, knowing that you will gain enjoyment and victory. Krishna gave more mercy to Bhishma than he gave to Arjuna. Right? On the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Krishna is acting as a chariot driver of Arjuna. And Arjuna is regularly fighting with Bhishma. And Bhishma is getting the darshan of Krishna's face, and Arjuna is getting the darshan of Krishna's back. Of course, Krishna is spiritual. Whether you see him from back or front or top or bottom, Krishna is Krishna. Right? In that way, Krishna is merciful to both of them. But Krishna is extra merciful to Bhishma, no doubt. Right? So, because Bhishma is getting to see the beautiful face of Parthasarathi Krishna, and in some time we are going to start Bhishma Stuti, where Bhishma is repeatedly glorifying that Parthasarathi form of Krishna. Right? Krishna is more merciful to Bhishma on the battlefield of Kurukshetra than even Arjuna. Krishna is on the side of Arjuna, but Krishna is giving more mercy to Bhishma. What's happening on the battlefield here? Whom you think as villain is not villain, he's a hero. Whom you think as hero, he's not the main hero. He's not villain, but definitely, but he's not the main hero there. Whom you think got more mercy, and whom you think got very less mercy or no mercy, he is actually getting a lot of mercy. This is what Bhagavatam is. In the battle between Indra and Vritrasur, who won? Indra won, and Vritrasur lost. But Indra got what? Svargalok. And Vritrasur got Vaikunthalok. Now, who is winner here? Who is winner, who is loser? Right? So, we need to understand the deeper perspectives of Srimad Bhagavatam from Bhaktivedanta purports. If you just read Bhagavatam shlokas, you will understand it to some degree. But if you read the same shlokas along with the explanations of Srila Prabhupada, you will get much deeper perspectives of these shlokas. So that's why understanding Srimad Bhagavatam without the explanations of great acharyas like Srila Prabhupada, Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur and many other glorious acharyas, we may not get the full understanding of Srimad Bhagavatam. So coming back to Bhishma's case, Bhishma is waiting. Bhishma is expecting Krishna to wait. My dear Krishna, please wait till I complete this service. I want to complete this service. You have given me this last service of giving a lecture to Yudhishthira Maharaj. And who is the audience in this lecture? The audience are Parashuram, Vyasadeva, Sukadeva Goswami, Krishna himself, then Dhaumya, Vishwamitra, then Narada Muni, Vasishtha, Gautama Rishi, along with so many disciples. So in front of so many people, this person who is about to die is giving a profound lecture on Dana Dharma, Stri Dharma, Bhagavata Dharma and all these dharmas, Varna Dharma, Ashrama Dharma. Generally, when somebody is about to die, when somebody is in a very weak, physical, fragile condition, it's very difficult for them to think properly and then give proper explanations to very technical topics. To give a lecture is very difficult. The first day when I came here, my throat was completely exhausted. It was too difficult for me. We are ordinary human beings. But Bhishma, in what condition is he giving this lecture? And who are his audience? If you are asked to give a lecture in front of Krishna, in front of Vyasadeva, in front of Sukadeva Goswami, we will feel nervous. Hands will sweat. Even though it's windy, hands will sweat. We will become nervous. But Bhishma is just giving. Krishna wanted to prove that although the whole world misunderstood Bhishma throughout his life, at the end of his life, before he departs, let me establish his glory. Let these universal celebrities hear his class. Let all of them understand how glorious Bhishma is. To convince Yudhishthira Maharaj, who is Dharma personified, is not so easy. It's not that Bhishma is giving a class or taking a counseling meeting or mentor-mentee meeting for few people who just began chanting Hare Krishna. Prabhu, I am getting sleep during chanting, what can I do? These are not the questions that he is answering. Bhishma is speaking very profound topics, very serious topics. He's not like an IYF boy or a new Bhaktivaksha member who just chanted 2 rounds or 4 rounds. So Yudhishthira Maharaj is Dharma personified. He is the son of Dharmaraj. He is well versed with all scriptures. When such Yudhishthira Maharaj is confused, to clear his confusions, how much clarity you need to have. And how much clarity...
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Sorry to interrupt the Srimad Bhagavatam class. It's unfortunate that somebody has parked a car. It's troubling the neighbor. Whosever car it is, seems to be a white, I don't know what car, 67614. Lift your hand, please. Whosever car it is. Hyundai car. White color, Hyundai car, 67. 614, Dubai registration. मिल गया?
Bhishma had clear thought process. By dint of his deep devotion towards Krishna, Bhishma had clear thought process. He knows what to speak. He knows how much to speak. He was about to depart from this world. He has to give this last lecture. Anyways, I am going to die now. Anyways, I am going to Vaikuntha. My boarding pass is ready. Web check-in is done already. My Vaikuntha airplane is about to take off. Even if I do a sloppy job in this last lecture, kya farak padta hai? He was not thinking like that. He gave guidance to Yudhishthira Maharaj. And based on the guidance given by Bhishma, Yudhishthira Maharaj is administering kingdom. Here is an emperor, Chakravarti, who needs guidelines, a set of protocols and policies and do's and don'ts and rules and regulations, prescriptions and prohibitions. All of them are being jotted on SOP. The manual to run the kingdom is being made on this bed of arrows, on the battlefield. And Bhishma is giving very profound teachings. In this context, let me remember one glorious personality, one great devotee, who is also giving such wonderful, deep explanations while lying on deathbed, while about to depart from this world. He is none other than His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Have you seen that photo, that picture where Jayadvat Maharaj and many other devotees were there? They were holding a dictaphone and Prabhupada was lying on bed, very thin. He is giving explanations. He is giving purports to Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto. In Govardhaniko village, on the Garbhagriha of Radha Vrindavan Bihari temple, we carved this picture. Prabhupada translating Srimad Bhagavatam, giving purports to Srimad Bhagavatam while lying on this bed in his very last days. And the last chapter that Srila Prabhupada has translated was the 13th chapter of the 10th canto, which is Brahma Vimohana Leela. Read the purports of Prabhupada, Bhaktivedanta purports of Prabhupada, 13th chapter, 12th chapter, 11th chapter, profound purports. Clear thought process. There is absolutely no confusion. When you are in physical pain, you can't speak properly. When you are exhausted, you can't speak properly. When you are tired, you can't speak properly. When you are sick, you can't speak properly. How can you speak properly on the deathbed? Not just speaking properly and communicating your needs or your moods, but giving explanations that are relevant for all hundreds and thousands of years to come. That requires great devotional depth. So Prabhupada is very much in line with Bhismadeva. Isn't it? In this context, I remember another shloka. First canto, 18th chapter, 4th shloka. Sutta Goswami says, Na uttama shloka vartanam jushatam tat kathamritam syat sambhramonta kalepi smaratam tat padambujam. Na uttama shloka vartanam. Recite please. It's there on the screen. Nottama shloka vartanam jushatam tat kathamritam syat sambhramonta kalepi smaratam tat padambujam. Na uttama shloka vartanam jushatam tat kathamritam. One who is accustomed to relishing the nectarian topics of Krishna's nama, rupa, guna, leela will not run into any misconceptions or bewilderments or confusions even on the deathbed. Syat sambhramo antakalepi. Antakala means at the time of leaving the body. Syat sambhrama means no confusions in the mind. Generally, people in this world, at the time of their death, they meditate on their unfulfilled material desires. They think, This old grandfather is dying. I am dying without seeing the marriage of my granddaughter. And this man who is dedicated to making a building, he is thinking, oh, I wanted to make a 4-story building. Somehow my building stopped in the 3rd floor only. He's thinking like that. So people meditate on their unfulfilled material desires, or people become so overwhelmed with physical pain and emotional pain of leaving the relatives. And they beg the doctors, can you please make me live for 10 more days or 20 more days? Please. My relatives are on the way. They're about to come to see me. They will come by this evening. Can you keep me alive till this evening? Not sure. When the tenure of a living entity within a body is finished, the living entity cannot stay in the body even for 1 second. What to do? And in that last moments, a materialistic person meditates on so many things. He's confused and bewildered. He doesn't know what he's speaking, what he's thinking. Totally deranged. But for a devotee who has dedicated one's whole life to glorify the topics of the Lord, Syat sambhramo antakalepi, even in antakala, even at the time of death, there are no sambhramas, there are no confusions, there is no bewilderment, no misconceptions. With a clear consciousness, smaratam tatpadam bhujam, they will be able to remember Krishna. They will be able to remember Krishna. That's what Bhishma is doing now. Bhishma is giving a lecture to Yudhishthira Maharaj on very, very significant topics. It's a very important meeting. It's not a casual discourse. Based on what Bhishma is teaching Yudhishthira Maharaj has to run a whole kingdom. Can you just understand the gravity of the topics that Bhishma is discussing in such a situation when he was about to depart? How much clear Krishna consciousness this personality must be having. Let people misunderstand him. It doesn't make any difference for devotees. People may misunderstand Bhishma in 100 different ways, but this is the glory of Bhismadeva. Krishna's personal is coming and sitting there to send him the spiritual world. Krishna has come to send Bhishma to Vaikuntha. Bhishma, please go to Vaikuntha. And some materialistic people are misunderstanding. They just see some movies or serials on Mahabharata and then they say, Bhishma is Bhishma is. Who are you to comment? If you comment, Bhishma's glory will come down or what? Here Krishna is acknowledging Bhishma's glory. Krishna is proving how knowledgeable and how devoted Bhishma is to the whole universal celebrities. All Brahmarshis, Rajarshis and Devarshis have assembled there to see this glorious departure of Bhishmadeva. And Krishna is personally present. Pandavas are hearing him. And the Kali Yuga intellectuals and scholars are feeling, Bhishma should not have done like that. As if they are the appointed jury panel to evaluate the activities of Bhismadeva. Right? So, Bhishma, with a clear consciousness, is remembering Krishna. And he is teaching our dear Yudhishthira Maharaj. So he taught him. And Bhagavatam does not give so many details of what Bhishma taught. Only main topics are mentioned. Varna Dharma, Ashtama Dharma, just names are mentioned. No details are given. You can go to Mahabharata or some other scriptures where these details are given. But now Bhishma begins his stuti, his beautiful heartfelt prayers. After giving some dharmic teachings to Yudhishthira Maharaj, Bhishma is absorbed in his parodharma. What is the parodharma of a living being? Savai pumsam parodharmo yato bhaktiradhokshaje ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. Savai pumsam parodharma, the supreme duty, the supreme dharma of every single living being is bhakti unto Lord Adhokshaja. And that bhakti has to be performed without any material motivations and without any interruptions. Ahaituki, without any personal agendas, without any selfish intentions, without any personal desires. Apratihata, without any interruptions or irregularities or inconsistencies, bhakti has to be performed continuously. Yesterday we saw, Saveda dhatuh padavim parasya duranta virya sarathanga panehi yoma yaya santatayana vritya bhajeta tatpada saroja gandham. You remember that shloka yesterday we discussed? So, yo amayaya, without any reservations. Santataya, without any breaks. Anuvritya, with a favorable intention, we have to serve Krishna. That's our eternal dharma. Bhajeta tatpada saroja gandham. And Bhishma is focusing on his paro dharma of complete unflinching devotion towards Krishna. Right? So in this mood, Bhishma is singing these beautiful prayers. Please recite the first prayer. Bhishma is saying, Iti mati rupa kalpita vitreshna Bhagavati sattvata pungave vibhumni. Itimati rupa kalpita vitreshna Bhagavati sattvata pungave vibhumni. Swasukhamupagate kvachidvihartum Prakritimipeyushiyad bhava pravaha. Swasukhamupagate kvachidvihartum Prakritimupeyushiyad bhava pravaha. Tribhuvana kamanam tamalavarnam Ravikaragouravarambaram dadhane. Tribhuvana kamanam tamalavarnam Ravikaragouravarambaram dadhane. Vapuralakakula vratananabjam Vijaya sakheratirastu me navadya. Homework. Memorize these shlokas. Ready, Rishabdev? I'll ask. So, in the first shloka, Bhishma is saying, Itimati rupa kalpita vitrishna. Itimatir upakalpita vitrishna. Bhagavati sattvata pungave vibhumni. The meaning of this couple of lines is that let my mind withdraw from all kinds of topics in this world and focus only on Krishna. Vitrishna. Trishna means hankering towards sense enjoyment or some materialistic topics. Kukathamati ghnihi. By hearing bad topics and materialistic topics and topics related to sense enjoyment, mind gets corrupted. Kukathamati ghnihi. Let me not hanker to immerse my mind in any non-devotional topics. Itimati rupakalpita vitrishna. Bhagavati sattvata pungave vibhumni. Let me focus on that Bhagavan Krishna. Let my thinking, feeling and willing be completely invested only in the thoughts of Krishna and nothing else. Let me do like this. Ananyas chintayanto mam yajanaha paryupasate tesham nitya abhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. Let me, ananya means without any distractions or deviations in the mind, let me completely focus on the Lord. Let me withdraw my mind from all kinds of bad topics and focus only on Krishna. This is the aspiration of a pure devotee. Complete focus on Krishna. Nothing else. So, the mind has a tendency to meditate on all the sensual impressions that the mind has been accumulating since lifetimes. Whenever the senses interact with a sense object, whenever my eyes see a beautiful form, whenever my ears hear a nice sound, whenever my tongue tastes some kind of delicious item, whenever my nose smells some kind of sweet fragrance, whenever my hand touches some soft object, a pleasant impression is stored in the mind. And whenever my eyes see some ghastly form, whenever my ears hear some irritating sound, whenever my nose smells some foul smell, whenever my tongue tastes something really terrible, not edible, whenever my hand touches something very rough or very unpleasant, a negative impression is stored in the mind. In this way, whenever the senses are interacting with the sense objects, the mind stores all these positive and negative impressions in the mind. And these impressions, which come to the mind through the senses, become thoughts, feelings, desires, attachments, aversions, likes, dislikes. This is how mind becomes filled with hundreds and thousands and millions of impressions. Let me withdraw my mind from all these thoughts and desires and feelings and emotions. Let me focus only on Krishna. Actually, it's very, very difficult to withdraw mind from all these impressions. Even Krishna gives one simple formula: out of sight, out of mind. In the Bhagavad Gita 3rd chapter, for you to control the mind, you need to control the senses first. Because mind is getting all inputs through the senses. When you regulate your senses, mind will not get so many inputs. Thus, you can control the mind. Krishna says that. Although you are able to control yourself from sensual impressions, we also need to control the mind from within. Although you have closed your eyes or closed your ears or closed your mouth or basically regulated your senses, there are so many previous impressions in the mind. They will keep bothering us. We are disturbed by distractions externally and desires internally. Internally, we are disturbed by our own desires. Externally, we are disturbed by the distractions around. Say you have managed to control your senses and thus you protected yourself from the distractions, external distractions. But what happens to internal desires? So there is some difficulty to control the mind, even if you restrict your senses also. By restricting your senses, you are not taking new inputs to the mind. But what about the already accumulated inputs that the mind has accumulated because of previous sense impressions and sense impressions from previous lifetimes? Very difficult. Only replacing all those impressions with the devotional impressions will help us. So, our Kulashekharal verses. Jihve kirtaya keshavam muraripum cheto bhaja sridharam pani dvandva samarchayachyuta katha shrutradvayatvam shrudum krishnam lokaya lochana harer gacchangri yugmalayam jighra ghrana mukunda pada tulasim murdhanna madhokshajam. Jihve kirtaya keshavam. With your tongue, please glorify Lord Keshava. Muraripum cheto bhaja. With your mind, constantly meditate on that Murari, Krishna. Cheto bhaja sridharam pani dvandva samarchaya. With your two hands, try to do archan. Try to worship that Sridhara, Krishna. Pani dvandva samarchaya achyuta katha shrotradvayatvam shrinu. Engage your 2 ears not in hearing gossip, not in hearing some mundane subjects, in hearing achyuta katha. Shrotradvayatvam shrinu. Krishnam lokaya lochanadvaya harer. Engage your eyes in seeing the beautiful form of Krishna. Gacchangri yugmalayam. Engage your 2 feet in going to the temple of Krishna. Jighra ghrana mukunda pada tulasim murdhanna madhokshajam. With your nose, try to smell the tulasi leaves offered to the lotus feet of Krishna. That is the power of, what is the power of smelling tulsi leaves offered to the lotus feet of Krishna? It can transform impersonalists into personalists. It can transform those who are attached to the formless Brahman, Brahmajyoti, and it can make them fans of the beautiful divine form of Krishna. Right? That's what happened to the 4 Kumaras in the 3rd canto of Bhagavatam. Tasyara vindanayanasya padaravinda Kinjalka mishra tulasi makaranda vayuhu antargatah svavivarena chakara tesham sankszobhamaksharajusham apichitta tanvoh. Tasya aravindanayanasya padaravinda. Aravindanayana is the lotus-eyed Lord Krishna. Padaravinda means his lotus feet. So, when the fragrance of tulsi leaves offered to Krishna's lotus feet mixed with the natural fragrance of the Lord's body, entered the nostrils of the 4 Kumaras, there is a transformation in their mind, there is a transformation in their hearts. They have become pure devotees. Therefore, Jighra ghrana mukunda pada tulasi murdhanna madhokshajam. Bow down in front of the Lord. Murdhannama. Bend your head low, become humble and offer obeisances to Krishna. Yat Krishna pranipata dhuli dhavalam tadvarshma tadvaishirah te netre tamasodhite suruchire yabhyam harir drishyate sa buddhir vimalendu shankha dhavala yamadhavadhyayini sa jihvamrita varshini pratipadam yastauti narayanam. Yat Krishna pranipata dhuli dhavalam. When you offer obeisances to Krishna, by the touch of Krishna's dust, by the touch of the dust at Krishna's lotus feet, if your head becomes whitish, that's the real head. The other heads, even if they are decorated by big crowns, golden crowns, bedecked with all kinds of costly gems, that's not the real head. The real head is that which becomes whitish with the dust at the lotus feet of Krishna when the devotee bows down. Yat Krishna pranipata dhuli dhavalam tadvarshma tadvaishirah te netre tamasodhite suruchire yabhyam harir drishyate. Those eyes that see the effulgent, beautiful form of Krishna, they are the real eyes. The real head is that which bows down in front of Krishna. The real eyes are that which sees the beautiful form of Krishna. Have you seen Krishna? Krishna's deity here? You have real eyes. Right? Next. Sa buddhir vimalendu shankha dhavala yamadhavadhyayini. That buddhi which has become completely purified by meditating on the pastimes of Lord Madhava, meditating on the Nama Rupa Guna Leela of Madhava, that's a real buddhi. Vimalendu shankha dhavala. Dhavala means white. Vimala means contaminationless, spotless. So the moon has some spots. Imagine a spotless moon, how whitish it is. Or you take this shankha, conch shell, it's so pure white. So the buddhi that meditates on Lord Madhava's pastimes, Nama Rupa Guna Leela, is like that whitish conch shell or spotless moon. Sa jihvamrita varshini pratipadam yastauti narayanam. That jihva, jihva means tongue. That tongue that is constantly showering the nectar of Krishna's glories. is the real tongue. Real tongue is not the tongue that is eloquently speaking prajalpa. Real tongue is not the tongue that is eloquently speaking gossip and criticism of other Vaishnavas, Vaishnava Ninda. That's not the tongue. However expertly you may criticize other Vaishnavas, however expertly we may find faults by utilizing our tongue and mind, that never impresses any spiritually inclined devotees. So, here Bhismadeva is saying, let my mind be withdrawn from all these kinds of external distractions. Mind is already bombarded with hundreds and thousands of material impressions that the mind is gathering through the senses. Let my senses and the mind be completely withdrawn from all these material topics and focus only on Krishna. With Krishna. When you have Trishna, you cannot get Krishna. Trishna means hankering for sense enjoyment. Absorption in materialistic thoughts. That is Trishna. If you have that Trishna, we cannot get Krishna. Therefore, our Bhishma is saying, Vitrishna. Iti mati rupa kalpita vitrishna bhagavati satvata pungave vibhumni. Bhagavati satvata pungava. That Bhagavan is satvata pungava. Is the best of all sattvatas. Is the shelter of all essence-seeking devotees. Let my mind focus on that Lord, no one else. This is what Bhishma is saying. The devotee's ultimate aspiration is to focus on Krishna without any deviation. To completely dedicate one's body, mind and words to Krishna with absolutely no distractions or deviations. Right? Chittam naiva nivartate kshanamapi Sri Krishna padambujan Nindantu priya bandhava gurujana grihnantu munchantu va Durvadam parighoshayantu manuja vamshe kalankostu va Tadrik prema dharanu raga madhuna mattayamanam tume. Chittam naiva nivartate kshanamapi. Let my mind not be distracted or deviated from the thought of Krishna's lotus feet even for one kshana, one moment. Chittam naiva nivartate kshanamapi Sri Krishna padambujan Nindantu priya bandhava gurujana. My own bandhavas, my own relatives may do ninda. They may criticize me. Nindantu priya bandhava gurujana. My elder superiors also may criticize me. No problem, let them criticize. Grihanantu munchantava. Let them accept me or reject me. I don't mind. Durvadam prati parighoshayantu manuja vamshe kalankostuva. Let there be gossip spread about me. Durvadam parighoshayantu manuja. Vamshe kalankostava. Let people say that I am bringing bad reputation to our Vamsha, our great dynasty. Let them think like that. It doesn't make any difference. Why? It doesn't make any difference although a devotee is facing so much of criticism for practicing bhakti. Because Tadrik prema dharanu raga madhuna mattayamanam tume. Because a devotee constantly experiences the love of Krishna. Prema dharanu raga madhuna. The nectarian love of Krishna nourishes a devotee. The devotee transcends all criticism or fault finding or ninda done by the materialistic people. Right? Tadrik prema dharanu raga madhuna mattaya manam tumi. Mattaya, the devotee becomes intoxicated by the nectarian glories of Krishna's Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela. So when we have that absorption in Hari Katha, absorption in Hari Bhakti, Krishna Bhakti, then we will not get distracted by anything else. And that's the aspiration of Bhishma here. Itimati rupakalpita vitrishna. Let my mind not run behind any other topics. Actually, Bhishma did not have so many distractions. But so far, Bhishma is engaged in politics, warfare, and he spoke on so many subject matters, dharma and adharma on a on a general conventional plane, that also he had to speak. Now, let me keep aside all these samanya dharmas or sadharana dharmas or temporary dharmas or even chala dharmas or politics or rajaniti, etc. Let me keep aside all this stuff. Only Krishna, nothing else. Vidura is saying, Tadasya kausarava sharmadatur hareh kathameva katha susaram uddhrutya pushpebhya ivarta bandho shivaya naha kirtayatirtha kirte. When Vidura met Maitreyi Muni, you know what he said? Oh Lord, Hareh kathameva katha susaram. There are hundreds and thousands of kathas, topics in this world, but Hari Katha is the saram, is the essence of all topics. Hareh kathameva katha susaram. Please speak only Hari Katha, no other Katha. Maitreyi Muni is saying. Similarly, our Bhishma is saying, Vidarishna, let me not run behind any other topics at this moment. This is like a moment of full absorption in Krishna, nothing else. This is how we need to leave the body. Bhishma taught us the art of living as an instrument in Krishna's hands. And Bhishma also taught us the art of leaving by completely absorbing oneself in Krishna's thoughts. Now, Bhishma says, Vitrishna. There's a beautiful shloka in the 10th canto of Bhagavatam. Parikshit Maharaj says, Nivritta tarshair upagiyamanaha bhavaushadhat shrotra manobhiramat ka uttama shloka gunanuvadat puman virajyeta vina pashughanat. Nivritta tarshair upagiyamana. Only one who is devoid of any material trishnas, material tarshas, material desires, only such people can focus on Krishna's nama rupa guna lila. We need to be done with all these material desires. So, let's go to the second half of the shloka. What's the time now? Okay, I'll complete the shloka and conclude. So, he says, Itimati rupakalpita vitrishna bhagavati satvata pungave vibhumni swasukhamupagate kvachidvihartum. Swasukham although the Lord is completely absorbed in his own sukham in the spiritual world, so sukham upagate kvachid vihartam. Kvachid means kabhi kabhi, sometimes. Vihartam, he comes for vihar. To where? To this material world. So although he's swasukham, in his own spiritual pleasure, he's enjoying in the spiritual world, sometimes he descends in this material world also vihartam. Prakriti mupeyushiyad bhava pravaha. Out of his causeless mercy, out of his deep compassion on conditioned souls who are rotting in the material existence, the Lord comes into this bhava pravaha. Bhava means material existence, pravaha means flow. Why is it called pravaha? There is a flow of material modes. Bhava pravaha. Sometimes he comes into this bhava pravaha also out of his mercy, and he gives his darshan, he gives his teachings to all of us. So this is how the Lord blesses even the people in this material world. Let me meditate on that Lord and his compassionate spirit. This is Bhishma's first prayer, first stuti. So, darshan has two meanings. One, a devotional sight. Two, a philosophical insight. Devotional sight means you are seeing the beautiful form of the Lord, that is one darshan. Philosophical insight means, see, below the form of Krishna, there is philosophy in the form of Bhagavatam. By reading Srimad Bhagavatam, you will get a lot of philosophical insights. This is also darshan. You take the darshan of Krishna's form and you understand the tattva of Krishna, that is another darshan. So Bhishma is now taking the darshan of Krishna. He is focusing completely on the Lord's form only. Next shloka is about the darshan of Krishna. Tribhuvana kamanam. Tribhuvana kamanam tamalavarnam. So we'll discuss it tomorrow. So he is taking darshan, but he also spoke a lot of tattva till now. And he is going to speak tattva in the rest of the stuti also. So we'll discuss the remaining prayers of Bhishma in the next 3 days. So thank you so much for your kind attention. If I am boring you or making any mistakes, Kindly forgive me, many senior devotees are here. I hope I am not wasting your time. But I am definitely utilizing my time by glorifying Krishna to the best of my ability, and my humble gratitude to His Grace Sri Vallabh Prabhu and Mahesh Prabhu and all of you for facilitating this gathering, this huge gathering of hundreds of devotees coming together, hearing Harikatha. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you so much, Prabhu, for taking us deeper and deeper into the Krishna Prem, the ocean of Krishna Prem. And we hope to do this. Today, day 4 is complete. And we are aspiring for more and more, going deeper. Because when we go deeper, then only we can find some rare, true gems. We have just begun the Bhishma Stuti, as you said, the first shloka tomorrow. And it was one question, because today a lot of my businessmen people have come. So, mostly people say that ये सत्संग और ये सब है, ये सब जो आदमी बूढ़ा हो जाता है उनके लिए है. When we are young and we are engrossed in our business, day-to-day business, this is not for us. Although we know that Bhagavad Gita was spoken to Arjuna, who was a Kshatriya. But maybe you can dwell a little bit on that for their benefit.
So what is the importance of this satsang?
For a businessman.
Oh.
Or what is the importance of Bhagavad for a businessman?
Okay.
I know we are doing the leadership, Srila Prabhu told me, we are doing some leadership lessons on the 1st of April. So just, I will send you all a flyer on the leadership lesson to all my friends. Whoever want to attend leadership lessons from Prabhu, please do that on the 1st of April. We will send you more details. But please, if you could dwell on that
Yes,
a little
definitely.
bit. Thank you.
Yes. So, what is the importance of Srimad Bhagavatam for businessmen? Whether we are businessmen, or teachers, or students, or doctors, or patients, or engineers, or whatever may be our profession, ultimately we are all children of God, isn't it? So Bhagavatam is a description of what God is. Bhagavatam presents us so much of Sambandha Gnan. What is our relationship with God? So we need to cultivate that relationship with God. That is the need of anybody from any background, right? However, let me go a little deeper into this topic, as Mahesh Prabhu requested. We have two purposes in life. One purpose is self-preservation. Second purpose is self-realization. Self-preservation means we need to do the needful to maintain our body. To maintain our body, we have a profession. It could be business, it could be something else. So, to maintain our body, we have a profession that is called self-preservation. We need to maintain the body, the family, the relatives, the home, vehicles, this and that. All this will come under the umbrella of self-preservation. This purpose of life is related to the body, connected to the body. But the real self is not the body. The real self is the soul. What are we doing for that soul? That is called self-realization. Just like you don't feed the body will become weak. And what is the food for the body? You have your paratha, idli, dosa, rice, dal, chapati, sabji. That's the food for the body. Similarly, there is food for soul. The food for soul is Srimad Bhagavatam. If you don't feed the soul regular doses of Srimad Bhagavat Katha, the soul will become weak. So by feeding the soul Bhagavat Katha, we are trying to come closer to Krishna. So we are on the path of self-realization. What is that self-realization? To realize oneself as a servant of Krishna by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. I hope that answers your question. It's a brief explanation. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. As we talk about Srimad Bhagavatam, I wanted to say that full sets of Srimad Bhagavatam are available. We are fortunate that in UAE now we have a full approval for importing these sets. Everyone in the house should have Srimad Bhagavatam sets. What you see displayed in the altar are 18 volumes of Srimad Bhagavatam set, all the 12 cantos, 18,000 shlokas, so wonderfully explained by Srila Prabhupada. And you saw Srila Prabhupada until the last moment was translating Srimad Bhagavatam. at least as a respect for that, I request every one of you to own a set of Srimad Bhagavatam, a set of Chaitanya Charitamrita. For all of you who are new, you have a special offer. You can get Bhagavad Gitas for just a mere 10 dirhams, a very specially subsidized rate. There's only for those who are newcomers. Sorry to make these announcements, but would you like to have any questions, please?
Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you, wonderful lecture, like always. Prabhu, in one of the lectures, Srila Prabhupada had mentioned that Duryodhan is a devotee in the form of a demon. And we can see that in Garga Samhita also it is mentioned that when Krishna was allocating duties of who will become what when he appears, he was like an Amshavatar of Kali. Kali is also a servant of Krishna. So Duryodhan performed all his activities to assist Krishna in the whole Natya of Mahabharata. So I'm a bit curious to understand what happens or what happened specifically to people like Duryodhan who assisted Krishna in this whole Mahabharata Leela.
There are some devotees who assist Krishna in their pastimes, in his pastimes. And through their example, we get lot of life lessons. But through Duryodhan's example, what life lessons are we getting? Through Ravana's example, through Kumbhakarna's example, through Kamsa's example, Jarasandha's example, or even Dhritarashtra's example, or Dushyasan, or many such demoniac, Jarasandha, Shishupal, many people also participated in Krishna's pastimes, although they have negative emotions and negative characters. But those activities of those demoniac people or negative characters are not meant to be emulated, but they're representing some bad qualities. You need to stay away from those bad qualities. So we learn what not to do from their activities, we learn what to do from the activities of devotees. So let's focus on the essence. That's all I can say. Okay, bro.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. You said Bhismadeva was in bad association, but he still maintained his good character, or concentrating on the Lord's order, maintaining. So how he did that?
I couldn't understand the question, Mataji. I couldn't hear only properly.
Now, Prabhuji, you said Bhismadeva was in bad association, but he still maintained the order
Purity
of the Lord in his whole life. So how he did that?
Bhishmadeva was always surrounded by demoniac people like Duryodhan, Dushyasan, and also we have Dhritarashtra himself, the king, ordering. Of course, he had devotee association also in the form of Vidura. Prahlad's situation is even more dangerous. As a 5-year-old child, he is always surrounded by demons only. No, not a single devotee for his association. So how do we survive in our bhakti despite being in the midst of demoniac association? The answer is we should have determination. Prabhupada writes in Chaitanya Charitamrita that if there is no determination in a devotee, even the Supreme Personality of Godhead also cannot save him. Prabhupada writes in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela. So we need to have that commitment. Yes, actually when we don't have determination, even though we are in the midst of vibrant spiritual association, we can get spaced out. While living in the temple, while sitting in satsang program, mind can think of so much sense gratification also. But if we are determined, even though we don't have devotee association, we can still be dedicated to Krishna. Mother Rukmani Devi, so she was living in Vidarbha and she was forcefully getting married to Shishupal by her own brother Rukmi. But she maintained her Krishna consciousness. Mother Sita, she was captivated, arrested in Ravana's Ashoka Vatika. She was surrounded by all the demons who were constantly breaking four regulative principles. But she was thoroughly Ram conscious. So Sita Devi, Bhishmadeva, Prahlad Maharaj, Rukmini Devi, and many such great personalities, great devotees, they maintained their Krishna consciousness with determination, with prayers. Internally they are committed to the path. So when we don't have that determination and commitment to the path, self-drive from within, the external superimposition of satsang will not have much impact. We may be amidst devotees, but still if you don't have determination, we will not take benefit of that association. We will still be swestas in bhakti. Does it make sense, Mataji? Determination, commitment, self-drive. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So we know we know that Kurukshetra Yuddha was all about the Dharma. So we hear about how Parikshit Maharaj was the one who established Dharma. But while he was still there, we also see, as we go forward in the Bhagavatam, it talks about the entry of Kali Yuga. So how do we understand that it was establishing Dharma, but however the Dharma stayed for a period of time and then the Kali Yuga started, or was it a kind of preempting Kali Yuga and that's how the...
After monsoon, winter has to come. After winter, summer has to come. After Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga has to come. Krishna's giving of teachings of Bhagavad Gita, or again reappearing in the form of Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam, is to give us proper guidance for all the Kali Yuga people. So, Krishna establishing Dharma does not mean Kali Yuga should not come. Kali Yuga has to come. Despite Kali Yuga's appearance, which is very common, like yugas keep changing, like seasons keep changing, days keep changing. After Sunday, Monday has to come. After Monday, Tuesday has to come. Similarly, after Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga has to come. But what preparations are we making for Kali Yuga? The preparations are Gita and Bhagavatam. So the more we take shelter of Gita and Bhagavatam, the more we will be unaffected by the symptoms of Kali Yuga. Those who don't take shelter of Gita and Bhagavatam, they will be affected by the onslaught of Kali Yuga. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you very much, Gauranga Darshan Prabhu. Again, an appeal for books and request all of you. Today is Ekadasi, so I would like to also thank Mahesh Gauranga Prabhu. Govindas is very well renowned for making wonderful Ekadasi Prashadam. So even if you're not getting Ekadasi Prashad, today is all Ekadasi Prashad. So make sure you collect one, you stay till the end. If there's more, you can collect another one. Thank you very, very much. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. I would like to thank all the audio team here, all the devotees who are working on the shlokas, and there's a person who is translating in Hindi every day. Thank you very much. I would like to thank Anupama Mataji, Apurva, Anuradha Vrajagopi Mataji, and Sanjeet Prabhu for taking care of beautiful